guess what, golfers? Vegas isn't just casinos and pool parties. In fact, there are 50 golf courses within a 15-mile radius of the Strip, all boasting beautiful desert oasis landscapes. So, if you're looking for a break from the action, consider hitting the links. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Donnie, the season is 6 months, 5 if you check out in September. You're gonna have a bad month. The Yankees had a horrible month, that is true. But beyond that, their regular season looks okay. They're gonna win their 90 games or maybe a little bit more and get to the postseason. What is everybody freaking out about?
Everybody freaks out. It's a Yankee tax and Yankee fan tax as well, where every single season you enter into the equation going like, it's championship or bust.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes what. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
College football can't allow Notre Dame to have the type of, year they have and schedule they have, and honestly put them up against other teams. Because Notre Dame looks like they're going to be a decent football team. They could lose, I think, next week to Texas A&M, Joe. Right. I don't think it's a great football team, but still a ranked team. And then run the table and still be in the playoff and absolutely beat nobody. The worst schedule I've ever seen in college football is Notre Dame this year.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Top of the hour power. We got it right here on the SportsGrid Network. We set the table for the grid. We do. You watch it. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Joe Ranieri. And before you know it, at the end of the day, like, man, SportsGrid gave me action-packed highlights and commentary all day long. It's how we do it. Donnie Rightside, me. Joe Ranieri, him. Energy stays high at this point. Feeling good on a Thursday. Big NFL game tonight. Major League Baseball in the afternoon. A monster college football and pro card this weekend, Joe. It's a good time. It really is. It is.
Yeah. Great time, Donnie. We're back at that point. Thursdays, always good. Kicking off with a little college and NFL games. And then, lead into what should be a fantastic week 3 in college. And a very interesting week 2 in the NFL. Could it be a bounce back across the board with some teams?
Could be. By the way, before we get to the 7-7, like the NBA is on a heater today. They really are. Understanding they don't have the common pulse of their fan base. We talked in hour number 1. It's like, hey, you know what? Our guys are selfish. Hey, shoot these shots. We won't count it against you. So now you can actually play basketball again. How about this one? The growth of the game is what every single league and organization wants to do. And if you can have young kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, easily say, hey, Dad, can we watch the Philadelphia Sixers game tonight? Good. Let me turn it on the TV and go find it here. We'll watch it. We'll enjoy it together, and you'll be a fan. So the NBA is at the point right now where the NFL is trying to do, hey, we're just going to make it hard to watch games. We're going to sell out for the money, and if you can't watch it, it doesn't matter. Netflix is going to give us $1 billion. Whether you watch one person or 100 million people, we still get that. That's all they care about right now. So the fact that Adam Silver stood in front of a podium like, hey, it's getting hard and expensive to watch your NBA games, which the ratings are already tanking. He's like, you know what? Just watch a couple highlights. We're a highlight league. How do you like that from your owner?
Oh, yeah, it's great. You're right, Donnie. There's a big disconnect along the line here with what the NBA and Adam Silver think. Well, it's not a disconnect. We all know it's strictly about the money for them, but it's certainly not about what the fan wants or what the fan finds important at all.
Nobody cares about the NBA to the playoffs, and then we love it because oh, wait a second, good teams being competitive, trying to win games. Oh, that sounds fun. But we'll go 82 games where nobody gives a damn about any one of those games and says, just get me to the playoffs here. The NBA's got some issues on their hands, but I love the fact that their actual commissioner's like, just watch a highlight or two. It does the same thing at this point. Amazing stuff. 7 and 7 hottest topic. Xavier Worthy. X gonna give it to you. Well, maybe it was Travis Kelce giving it to X at that point because he's going to be out a couple weeks with that shoulder injury. We don't know when he's coming back, but the good news, if there is some, he doesn't go to the IL.
No, and it is very good. And it's good news also for Travis Kelce. It doesn't, hopefully, the sooner Worthy gets back out there, the less guilty he'll feel for running over his own teammate. But no Rashee Rice, right, for the next 5 games, which means Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Thornton, and Brown Lee are the only receivers left to pick up the slack. Well, it smells like we might have some props in our future here with the Kansas City leftover receivers.
Somebody going to have to step up against those Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday afternoon. We'll see who it actually is at this point. Is it Hollywood Brown with the big game out there? Is it Kelce saying, hey, I got to make up for my lost teammate because I knocked him out myself with friendly fire? We'll find out on Sunday. How about Brock Purdy? We're going to find out on Sunday. He probably ain't going to be there. This guy's got banged up toe injuries, shoulder injuries. We just started the season. And I don't know what they put in the water out there in Santa Clara, but I won't be drinking it because everybody gets injured for the 49ers.
Yeah, well, the one guy that we thought for sure would probably start the season injured, didn't, in Christian McCaffrey, which might just be the saving grace for this team to try and weather what is being reported, Donnie, as a shoulder and / toe injury with Brock Purdy. But listen, Mac Jones is certainly a upgrade to what they had a couple of years ago when Christian McCaffrey had to get under center and do wildcat all day long in the biggest games of the year. But
Josh Johnson?
I do think,
who was that?
Yeah, Josh Johnson, and I believe it was the former Carolina backup there. So yes, man. I think they'll be able to weather this storm, but they can't afford to lose anybody else. That's the bottom line.
Weathering the storm, Joe. There's a lot of storms in South Florida, and you like to be, okay, it's a thunderstorm. We get it. We'll work through it. You don't want a storm in your own organization, which means we're not winning football games. Tua Tagovailoa is like, I don't give a damn what you guys are saying. I get paid. I'm playing football. Leave me alone. And then your superstar wide receiver, who's known for getting open deep and making big plays, makes no more big plays at this point. And the only plays he's making are in the press, where now we need to investigate from an NFL side whether or not domestic abuse violations are actually true for Tyreek Hill. Good luck, Dolphins, on the rest of your 2025 season.
Yeah, Donnie, I mean, it's at this point, we can just say bye-bye, Coach McDaniel. Bye-bye, Tyreek Hill. Bye-bye, Miami Dolphins, fan base thinking they were actually going to put it together and this was the year. It is not. And listen, it doesn't matter whether he's found guilty of anything or is charged or anything along those lines, because the NFL, they don't care. They're going to do their own investigation. And it's not like he doesn't have a history of these off-the-field issues. You don't be shocked if they just let him go away and kind of shelve him for a little while.
Teams are calling. They don't care. Hey, man, no matter what you did in your past, you can help us win football games. We will take you on. I wonder if Kansas City was one of those teams that actually called up and says, we'll take Tyreek Hill back because we lost something with Tyreek, and he's worth the headaches. Come on home to Kansas City. How about Paul Skeens, 200 Ks on the season? This guy is your NL Cy Young Award winner for 2025. Congratulations, Paul.
More importantly, Donnie, he has been an absolute cash cow in betting circles. For those of you that have enjoyed going the unders and early first fives, which is all he went last night, by the way, only needed 5 innings to get the 8 strikeouts and the 200 on the year. Just give him the Cy Young already, right, Donnie? I mean, what are we waiting for here?
No, we shouldn't be waiting too much longer at that point here. Libby Dunn, congratulations. Paul Skeens, more money in his future. But the one thing you won't do, you can win awards in Pittsburgh. You just can't win baseball games. That's what's going to happen here in the next couple of years. You know it. They're not going to retool anything in that offseason. How about the Texas Rangers retooling midseason, left for dead, winning games and knocking off they're not going to knocking off the Rockies here. They're knocking off the best team in baseball, Joe.
7 games over 500 for the first time this year, Donnie, with losing their 2 best guys, Evaldi and Seager, and they are now 7 games over 500, making a run. I hope nobody burned those future tickets on the Rangers just yet. Still a lot of baseball to be decided here, Donnie.
Nope, you blow out the flames on that futures ticket. You might want to save that. Maybe you should light the flame here on the New York Mets and those future tickets, as they're 76-70, 10 games back of the Philadelphia Phillies. They lost again last night to the Phillies. The Mets have lost 5 straight games. The Phillies have won 3 straight, hence a 10-game lead. And today, still another game on the docket today from Philadelphia. Could it be a 4-game sweep for the Fighting Phils to knock the Mets back 11 games, Joe?
I mean, it's crazy. Not only that, the magic number was 11, and now it can be down to 5 if they win today, and they can wrap up the National League East and start getting guys healthy and ready for the postseason. Huge series for the Phillies.
How about this one? Detroit Tigers crushed the Yankees again. They're not going to fire their manager now, but I don't think people wanted even to enter the season as Boone as their manager of the New York Yankees. They're stumbling down the stretch, too talented to get wiped out. But again, Tigers playing good baseball. Yankees aren't.
Again, first 5 is the only bet to make on the Yankees moving forward. That bullpen is a unmitigated disaster and dumpster fire. No way can you trust anything full game with the Yankees.
No, you can't. By the way, other news out there, the Minnesota Wild's Kaprizov rejects the largest NHL contract in history. Who does he think he is? Micah Parsons out here? Trade this guy. Get him out of town. We don't need you anymore. We'll be back to talk more about that.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes what. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
I was looking at through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls and anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Listen, we thanked them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards. You know,
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Are you ready for some football on a Thursday night? It is an NFC party. There's no doubt about it. 2 1-0 teams kick off tonight, Joe. Washington and Green Bay, 2 talented young quarterbacks here, Jaden Daniels and Jaden Love. 8:15 tonight, and one of the more historical places in the NFL, it's Lambeau Field. If we look at the line, -3s and -3.5s, which is key. We don't have to shop, Joe, at only one place here. Oh, only getting the 3.5. Look around, get the best price. If you want to take it, you want to go to like FanDuel, 3.5. You want DraftKings, 3.5. You want MGM, 3.5. If you want to lay those points here, you can head over to Bet365 or even the Westgate out in Las Vegas, showing a -3. The total in this game, 48.5s to 47.5s. Once again, shop around to get that best number. But I'm excited for tonight, and I love the fact that the dress rehearsals are out of the way. Green Bay had elevated competition last week, or at least we think in 2025, taking on the Detroit Lions and easily dispatching of them. The Giants, not a lot of expectations, but for some reason, a couple preseason games started to fuel the fire that the Giants might have something. They have nothing. So now you have 2 teams coming in on double-digit victories here. Something has to give tonight, Joe. What gives?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. The look-ahead line was only a field goal for the Packers, which I think makes sense, right? I mean, home field advantage at Lambeau, but after we watched, Green Bay basically manhandle the Lions, and while the Commanders were able to handle the Giants, it certainly wasn't the same. Nobody walked away with the same kind of impression by the Commanders win like they did the way the Packers won. So, yeah, I understand why it got pushed up, and the hook is available here, and I think it's going to stay available. I'm not sure we're going to get back to 3 here, and I think the reason is, Donnie, is that you're going to have significant bets laying the 3.5 on a short week with, to me, is the better team at home currently right now. I'll go back to it. Dan Quinn, undisciplined team, 12 penalties in that Giants game. I don't know that you can clean that up in 4 days. I like the Packers here tonight.
Yeah, usually, again, NFL teams may be a little bit different, like high school and college. The more improvement comes from week 1 to week 2. In the NFL, it's not really improvement. It's just like, okay, we knocked the rust off in week number 1. Now let's get after it in week number 2. And it's a decent little plane ride there, going from D.C. over to Green Bay, and that's a short work week they have. So the advantage in the travel, certainly, with the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers didn't even have that where, okay, we're on the road last Sunday, so we got to fly home Sunday night. They played home on Sunday. They didn't have to go anywhere this week, so we'll see how that plays into it tonight. If we are looking at the quarterbacks here, because they're going to be on full display tonight. Passing props for Jordan Love listed at 227.5 now. That's on the rise from that graphic where you see 223.5. Live on Jaden Daniels, 225.5, and the touchdown props over 1.5. For me, I want to play this from a Jaden Daniels perspective because we talked about it earlier, Joe. I think so key is the ground game. And I don't mean the running backs. I mean the ground game from the quarterback himself. I think he can get 50 yards on the ground. But if you say, Donnie, if you're going to throw 2 touchdown passes, I actually believe more touchdown passes could come from Washington than Green Bay. And it's not to say because Jacobs is going to steal a couple of those. I just look at those wide receivers for Washington, and I just think there's a chance for 2 touchdown passes for Daniels. But more importantly, he's up against a really good pass rush. I love the legs of Daniels tonight. Give me him over 50 yards.
Yeah, listen, he's going to have to, I think, because I do think they're going to bring the pressure, and he's going to be a little bit under duress because we just saw that Jared Goff was under a lot of duress and kind of threw that game for a loop for Detroit. And Micah Parsons will be used. He'll be used in spots where you're going to need to get to the quarterback. And, yeah, that's going to require Daniels to be, he's going to have to run with the ball here tonight. So I kind of like that. But I also think, and what we watched last week with Jordan Love is that this guy is completing passes to everybody on the team, it felt like, Donnie. It was, you get a completion, 18.5 completions for Jordan Love here tonight. You tell me, is he capable of getting to 20? I think so here. None of them have to be 90-yard bombs, but they will methodically be able to move that ball here tonight like they did against Detroit.
Running back position, Joe. Josh Jacobs is easy to talk about. Bell cow, it's simple. Do you think he gets over 76.5 yards or he stays under here? Do you think he scores a touchdown? We know the opportunities, barring injury, will be there. Or a game plan where somehow Washington jumps out to a 28-0 lead at the break. We don't think that's going to happen either. But flip it over to Washington's side. I just told you, in the running game, I love the quarterback here. But what gives with Krosky Merritt in this game? The reason I bring it up is, at FanDuel, I'm just looking now, 40.5 is his rushing prop, Joe. We go back to last week. 10 carries, 82 yards. That's 8.2 yards per carry and a touchdown here. Is this another breakout game for him, or is the book saying slow your roll. He's still a young player, and you might be playing from behind in this game.
Listen, that kid was phenomenal. And again, he had to be used and used often there. It needed to be because there was really no reason to give the Giants an opportunity to get back into that game because even though they made it inside the 5-yard line a couple of times and came away with only 3 points, the reality is it was ball control for Washington. They didn't show a whole heck of a lot. I don't think they're going to have that luxury here tonight, Donnie. I think the kid is going to be used less because I think Jane Daniels going to have to go more with the arm and to the wide receivers here for Washington.
By the way, some fun props, too, because more people probably betting props now, Joe, than just the side or a total when 10 years ago, that's really all you were doing. Even the advent of, legalized sports gambling in 2017, the prop markets weren't as robust as they are now. I'm just taking a look at some of these fun ones here, like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt and Josh Jacobs to get 5 rushing yards in each quarter. It's a plus 650 price. If you want to flip that around a little bit, Jaden Daniels and Josh Jacobs each to get 5 rushing yards in each quarter is also a plus 650. Like, I love fun bets like that. If I'm going to take a look at the guys that I love in this game, which Josh Jacobs is getting the football, and I think Jaden Daniels is going to run, sometimes you just need to get through that first quarter, and you got some fun bets you can have on some of these props.
Yeah, I agree here. And again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, 10 straight games with a touchdown for the Packers. There's a reason why his anytime touchdown is that big. But can I go even further, Donnie, to say, give me the first touchdown in the game, Josh Jacobs? How's that?
Oh, punch it in. 1st and goal at the 1. Love to see that here. How about this one? Deebo Samuel, Josh Jacobs, and Terry McLaurin to combine for 4 touchdowns. Now, one guy can get 4 touchdowns. You cover that, but 3 players to get 4. I miss the days of old when they were testing these markets out, Joe, where they gave you the option for just 3 total touchdowns with 3 players. Those were fun. You know how much fun they were? They lasted about 2 weeks because, wow, the books were like, what? We're getting our backs broken on this type of wager. So now it sits at 4, but the price points plus 650, plus 750, plus 850. They're certainly fun at that point here. But we got Major League Baseball to talk about. There's afternoon games before you even get to the NFL night game. We'll handicap those next. It's Joe and Donnie in the morning on a Thursday, right here on the SportsGrid Network.
Vegas knows how to celebrate. If you're headed to Vegas for your birthday, plan ahead to get all the birthday freebies the city has to offer. Just by showing your ID, you could get free cash play, scratch cards, drinks, and food at various venues on the Strip. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
College football can't allow Notre Dame to have the type of, year they have and schedule they have, and honestly put them up against other teams. Because Notre Dame looks like they're going to be a decent football team. They could lose, I think, next week to Texas A&M, Joe, who I don't think is a great football team, but still a ranked team, and then run the table and still be in the playoff and absolutely beat nobody. The worst schedule I may have ever seen in college football is Notre Dame this year.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Quarterback or coach has to answer for it.
Right.
Goff, Campbell. Listen, I'm not firing Dan Campbell already. I might be shipping Goff. I don't know, but I think the Lions. Again, it's week 1. Are we overreacting? I think the panic meter in Detroit is blaring. I think people are wondering when do the Pistons start.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
I spoke too soon on Major League Baseball. Why? Because we got to get a couple previews in here for the NFL Week number 2 action. Now, these aren't straight up handicaps. We're going to take 3 to 4 minutes apiece and say, here's exactly who's going to win. We just want to whet the appetite, Joe, right? We just want to get the people in the know. Like, yes, you're looking forward to tonight's game. Yes, you're looking forward to Saturday afternoon college football action. But you have to know some of these games this weekend and see where these lines are sitting. We're going to start here in New York. That's New York City. That's the New York Jets. I guess moral victory on week number 1. Hey, the Jets look competent here. The Jets actually are saying if you play poorly or if you fumble the football or drop punts here, you will not be on this football team because that's what the culture demands. But we take a look at the culture here in Buffalo that goes, we were left for dead in the fourth quarter. Our fans were leaving the building. Josh Allen wasn't happy, and they came back and beat the Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo Bills, New York Jets from MetLife, minus 6.5-point favorite here, Joe, early on for those Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, well, it was 7, and then, of course, that dropped down here. But you got to love the move by Aaron Glenn, and maybe, just maybe, it's a new era for Jet football. Certainly, it feels like a new aura because Xavier Gibson, who fumbled that kickoff there, that punt leading to a touchdown for Pittsburgh, ultimately cost him the game, is no longer a New York Jet. And that was the end of that. We learned that this week. But now you got Buffalo coming to town. And Buffalo has dominated them, Donnie. I mean, let's be reasonable. Yeah. Josh Allen has absolutely owned the Jets, but this is not the same old Jets. Obviously, you could see the running game. What did they do in Baltimore with Baltimore running all over this frontier of Buffalo? Yeah. That's not going to change with the Jets. I think getting close to a touchdown, well worth taking taking the points here in a shot with the home dog.
Paint the fingernails, get a sloppy undershirt, go out and play yourself some quarterback in the NFL and lose a football game with a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. That's what the Chicago Bears did last week, but they're going to take on Detroit. And by the way, if you're looking at, you probably hoped Detroit won last week against Green Bay because they are going to be out for blood at home to prove that week number 1 was a fluke here. The Chicago Bears are getting 6.5 to 6 points, depending on where you're shopping, in a total of 47.5 to 46.5. Must-win situations for both of these ball clubs in the NFC North.
Yeah, do you know he's 0-19-1 when Ben Johnson or Sean McVay not calling his plays against the number. You like that?
Hey,
Donnie, you think coordinators matter here? Yes, they do. So here's the situation. I do think that we are going to get a bit of a turnaround here for Detroit at home. I would expect more than anything else, Donnie, the running game to get more involved here for Detroit. I think basically once Chicago is playing from behind, I think they become extremely one-dimensional with Caleb Williams, and I like the defense of Detroit. I think the defense is better than the offense. I think that spells trouble for Caleb Williams this week.
How about that? Tough scene there for the Bears going 0-2. Ben Johnson. Oh, no. What did I sign up for? We'll certainly find out. That game's going to kick off 1 o'clock in the Dome, Ford Field. And one of those teams is going to drop to 0-2, which is usually a death nail in the NFL. 4:25 p.m., maybe the game of the weekend, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, a Super Bowl rematch with the Philadelphia Eagles as the favorite right now at minus 1.5 and a total of 46.5. Warm weather on the way. But those reserves at wide receiver, they're going to be tested for the Kansas City Chiefs for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, not a great defensive game there for Philadelphia against Dallas. Well, a lot of that had to do with one of their best players getting tossed before the game even started. But they'll have him back for this. But listen, it has always been, I mean, you're talking about a Kansas City Chiefs team with Mahomes and Andy Reid, Donnie, that when getting points, an underdog of any sort at Arrowhead has been a one-way cashable ticket to back them here. Even if you don't think this is the Chiefs of old, this is a tough spot not to want to back them in.
The old and the new Sunday Night Football. It's Michael Penix and J.J. McCarthy. These two matched up in a quite big game here in NCAA action just a few short years ago. They'll do it on Sunday Night Football, and the favorite in this game is the Minnesota Vikings. However, the Vikings opened up around 4.5. That's dropped to 3.5. McCarthy at home after a big comeback victory, and Atlanta 0-1, desperately seeking a win.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, listen, he's not going to step back and throw the ball a ton, McCarthy here, at least not until Jordan Addison, I think, gets back and they can figure out some mismatches. In the meantime, expect a lot of Jordan Mason, some Aaron Jones there, but I do think that Atlanta can bounce back here and get it done in this matchup here on the road as a dog.
Lean on Bijan. Make a T-shirt out of that, Atlanta. You're going to need that on the road in a hostile environment in a game that you absolutely must win. Now, there are some must-win baseball games today that are taking place, including 3 games in the afternoon. One at 1 o'clock, one at 2 o'clock, and one at 3 o'clock. Thursday afternoon baseball. Let's get to it next right here on the Early Line.
Vegas knows how to celebrate. If you're headed to Vegas for your birthday, plan ahead to get all the birthday freebies the city has to offer. Just by showing your ID, you could get free cash play, scratch cards, drinks, and food at various venues on the Strip. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
College football can't allow Notre Dame to have the type of, year they have and schedule they have, and honestly put them up against other teams. Because Notre Dame looks like they're going to be a decent football team. They could lose, I think, next week to Texas A&M, Joe. Right. I don't think it's a great football team, but still a ranked team. And then run the table and still be in the playoff and absolutely beat nobody. The worst schedule I may have ever seen in college football is Notre Dame this year.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Quarterback or coach has to answer for it.
Right.
Goff, Campbell. Listen, I'm not firing Dan Campbell already. I might be shipping Goff. I don't know, but I think the Lions. Again, it's week 1. Are we overreacting? I think the panic meter in Detroit is blaring. I think people are wondering when do the Pistons start.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
Two first-place teams in Major League Baseball getting it on and popping on a Thursday afternoon. The start time here from Toronto, 3:07 p.m., 9:09, 9:10 on the rotation. It's Javier going up against Gaussman here. And once again, two first-place teams go toe-to-toe. The total in this game opened up at 8.5, still sits 8.5. The favorite, heavily towards the Toronto Blue Jays at the opening number of -180. That's shrinking down now. -160s, -163s, -155s across the betting landscape, depending on where you're shopping here. Lower scoring game yesterday. Both teams in desperate needs of victory to hold off contenders trying to chase them down. What do you think happens today, Astros and the Blue Jays show?
Well, this has been a matchup and a series that over the years has been dominated, especially this year, by the Astros, Donnie. They did it again last night. Yanier Diaz hits a 9th inning solo home run to give the Astros a 3-2 win. So this is now a pretty important rubber match coming up here for Toronto because they've won 4 of 5, Houston, against the Blue Jays this year. They've won 8 of their past 10 against this team. So they're going to need Gaussman to come up big here, Toronto, today. Garcia going for Javier, going for Houston. Both of these games felt very playoff atmosphere-esque. Have they not? Lower scoring?
Yeah.
I kind of think we're going to get the same thing here today. I think the bullpens are going to decide this, but I would lean Toronto in the first 5 early in this one.
All right, like where you're going there at this point. How about in the Bronx, Detroit and the New York Yankees? Detroit's like, hey, we'll stay an extra couple days in the Bronx. It's a lot of fun. Small, tiny ballpark here. We're scoring a lot of runs, and the Yankees are not doing that. I do think that changes a little bit today. Detroit's going to take on the Yankees, 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation. 7:05 Eastern start. Gibson long on the mound versus Cam Schlittler. The side of this game, -165s overnight. minus 158s now, minus 170s. It's all over the landscape, depending on where you want. Again, shop around and get the best possible price, and depending on which way you want to go with that 8.5 total. I think the Yankees hit tonight. I'm not comfortable saying I just want to absolutely take the Yankees at, let's call it, minus 164. I do think they win. I think they get the Gibson long, but I'd be looking more at a team total where the Yankees bats finally wake up tonight.
Yeah, well, I had mentioned it. I've been saying it all show. I'll say it again. I will not bet the New York Yankees outside of the first 5 innings, because when you look at the starting pitching in this series alone, the starters have all dominated. And then, of course, the bullpen got involved late in the game, and that is where Detroit has dominated. They're 4-1 against the Yankees this year. And, Donnie, they're going for a sweep in this one for the first time in the Bronx since 2008. 2008 is the last time Detroit swept the Yankees in the Bronx. I don't think they're going to get it done here. Although in that 4-1, the 5 games they played this year, they have outscored the Yankees 37-9. 37-9. And oh, by the way, when is the last time Aaron Judge got a hit? I saw his batting average at 319. Not good. First 5 under for me in this one. I think the Yankees may score a couple of runs, but ultimately, can they hold on will be the question. I think we get fewer runs early in this one.
So, but a lot of people coming in there sweeping up on the New York Yankees. We also had that one early in the season. It was like the Boston Red Sox haven't done it in 100 years. Yep, they just did it this year. So interesting times for the New York Yankees. And you're right. Whatever happened to flirting with 400 for Aaron Judge as a batting average? And by the way, we might have to have more talk here on who's going to win that AL MVP, because that was always, hey, well, Aaron Judge is going to be close. They're not close in the home run race now. Cal Raleigh's got more RBI. And if Aaron Judge slips back to like 310, which is still a really good batting average, he's losing all his leverage at this point. So we'll have some conversations a little bit later on that. But the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, game number 4 from the city of brotherly love. The Phillies not showing any brotherly love the past 3 games, hammering the New York Mets. Not a lot of Mets offense here, by the way, over those past couple nights. Peterson, the lefty, versus Luzardo, the lefty, 7:15 start. Phillies are a favorite. Overnight, though, you'll see that placard, 142. It's dropping right now, Joe. Minus 136 at FanDuel, minus 136 at DraftKings, and a total of 8.5. I mean, radioactive are the Mets right now. I can't see myself in any way, shape, or form going, I'll just back them because they have to win. They've looked brutal.
21-6. They've been outscored in this 3 games so far. And my goodness, I mean, think about this too, right? Because the Phillies were in Citi Field not too long ago, and they got swept by the Mets in the 3-game series, and then have gone 10-3 since that sweep by the Mets. And, they lost Turner, they lost Brahm, but it doesn't seem to matter when guys like Kepler are coming up and driving in runs all over the place. I've said it and pointed it out. The Mets have an issue against left-handed starters. They got another one today in Luzardo that they're going to have to deal with. I'm not any more confident that they're going to get the Luzardo. They didn't get the Sanchez. They didn't get the Ranger Suarez. I don't like the Mets right now. I'd only be looking the Phillies' way.
And Aaron Nola shut him out, though. So not a great look here going up against another lefty. We'll see how that works out in Philadelphia. Seattle, the sitting the crime last night for me, picking up a victory, but costing me many hours of sleep. Sometimes, Joe, you want that, like, hey, they start at 9:40. Like, hey, by 10:40, can I have a couple runs on the board so I can go to bed? No, I was up till 1:30. Today, they're going to play the Angels, though. So not the same team they played last night, which, my goodness, I'm still a little bit weary at this point. So the Angels going to have Soriano. The Seattle Mariners tonight going to go with Miller. 166-170 is the favorite here for the Mariners in a total between 7.5 and 8 runs across the board. Seattle was shorthanded yesterday in the bullpen, and they went 13 innings. So they should get some guys back that weren't available last night, but I want to see what that maybe hangover is from playing that long game. And Soriano was pushed back an extra day to get a little bit extra rest and relief. That total sits at 8. I don't know, Joe, if we go over 8 runs, and even though I don't like Miller really too much for the Mariners.
No, I don't like him at all, but Soriano has been much better on the road, Donnie, than he has been at home this year. His home road splits are bonkers here. So I would not be mad at anybody looking to take the 1.5 with the Angels in this spot, because like you said, at 13 innings, that kind of wore him down a little bit here. And Soriano's record on the road leads me to think the Angels could be a live dog here tonight.
Yeah, some bad base running last night. By the way, some really good fielding from the Mariners, and finally got a clutch hit late in that game. A 2-run walk-off there in the bottom of the 13th inning. Otherwise, you continue to play more innings, and more innings in the way you go. Who wants to play less innings? Probably the Colorado Rockies. Tired of getting beat up every night. Shut out yesterday against the Dodgers. They don't have to move all that far. They go from L.A. down to San Diego to take on Randy Vasquez, who's not a great pitcher for the Padres, going up against Mr. Brown for Colorado. He is also a bad pitcher. That line sits at 8.5 and a look, Randy Vasquez, I don't care who they're playing, should never be favored at close to a minus 250 price, which he is. I'm not saying you're taking the underdog Rockies, but you know what I am saying? I think we get some runs tonight in this game, Joe.
Well, it better be the Padres bats better wake up because they have been terrible. I mean, they lost 2 of 3 to the Reds, and they only got 15 hits in the entire series. They only scored a run again last night. So not a good look here. Machado can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Tatis is doing his best to keep them afloat here, but they need some help, and they don't hit the home run ball very well, so they're not a power team. To me, it's yes, these are 2 gas cans, but wow, is this hard to look at the Padres and say that, oh yeah, they're gonna be good for 6 or 7 runs. They may win this one, but I'm fading their team total here tonight.
Let's go down there to Lone Depot Park quickly, Joe, your neck of the woods. How about this matchup? How many tickets were sold for the Nationals Marlins today? Yeah. 6:40 start. Gore and Weathers exactly where you want to be. Roughly a pick 'em, minus 125, depending where you're shopping, in a total of 8, Joe. Not very many people go down there to watch, but I got to tell you, make it through 5 innings, and the fun begins in this series, man. Bullpens, they can't get anybody out.
Listen, I love that Weathers is back, but it's his first game off the IL for the Marlins. And I think I really like him from a pitching perspective here, but you just don't know what you're going to get, Donnie, early on. And that Miami bullpen is a hot mess. So, yeah, while Washington has their issues, they're the hotter team. I'd be willing to look towards Washington to get one here tonight.
I looked yesterday and said, I think we get runs, and it was just what my best bet was, and I hit that. But I'm almost like, where's the team total going to come from? Should I go Washington? I said, I'm going to go Miami. They're the better team. They should be able to lump up the starting pitcher for Washington yesterday. 3-0 lead for Washington. I'm like, I'm such an idiot. I should have just went Washington. I forgot about that Washington bullpen. Bing, bong, boom. Over the total we go. Everybody goes home a winner. Today, you actually have a game, Joe, at 1:05 Eastern, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, followed by Tampa Bay and Chicago at 2:10. Then the 3:07 start up north in Toronto. Baseball and football as it mixes, along with Cam Stewart joining the show next. Who says no? Not this guy.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes what. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards. You know,
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Only superstars are around on this channel. Only superstars allowed on the early line. And only on Thursdays do we get the best and the brightest here with us. Now, some might think, Donnie, right side, you're best and brightest. I don't know. Maybe it's Joe Ranieri. Maybe he's best and brightest. Best and brightest. It's Cam Stewart on with us on the early line on a Thursday. Cam, thanks for rising and shining with us.
Honest to God, Donnie, like you're nicer than my girlfriend to me. Like, it's unbelievable. I don't hear that very often. I hear sometimes you're dull like a butter knife. Hey, sharps versus squares. I'll tell you one thing, though, guys. This is awesome time of the year. The baseball races, football. And know what I love about these golfers, guys? They're animals. They're still golfing. It's like, I'm looking at the Procore going, Scotty Scheffler's playing at 2-1. It's like, oh my God. But all the Europeans there in the BMW, I get it's a tune-up for the Ryder Cup, but everyone rips like on golfers and whatever. These guys do work more than any other athletes out there. I get it. They're playing golf, but these guys don't take time off. They're animals. The addiction to money, Donnie and Joe. I love money.
There you go. Let's get some money here. Let's start with the Procore Championship here, because Cam is right at this point. Usually these guys are sipping Mai Tais. Like, when am I going to get to the Sony Open, in a couple months and just relax? Ryder Cup is coming up. We'll get to that certainly in the upcoming weeks. But Scotty Scheffler's playing. He's a plus 210 favorite today in this tournament this weekend. Tell me about the Procore and where we're going here with some of these picks, Cam.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I know Ranieri. If we're not taking Scotty Scheffler at plus 380 or 450 or 5, we're not taking him at 2. Like, that is a live number. Unless he's got like a 5-shot lead, we can worry about him on Sunday. So let's just put Scotty Scheffler on the shelf. But this is a great tournament, too, to reset. Guys who, had a rough year, guys who were good for a while and struggling. Silverado's a course that you can really get after. But you know what it is? We always look for value. But one consistent guy this year, Ben Griffin. The former insurance guy turned great golfer, and this guy has had a fantastic year. And you get good numbers with him, guys. 26-1. I think Ben Griffin checks all the boxes for me this week. I think he's one of the best guys on tour. A nice little tune-up. Jackson Koiven. Remember this name, Donnie and Joe. Remember this guy. Joe knows. SEC country, Auburn Tiger. Very, very good golfer. Like Ludwig Elbert came out. This guy is the same type of thing. One of the best amateurs in the world. We're getting him at 55-1 this week. I think that's an incredible price. And I got problems with Cole Kane and Jagger bombs and all these other idiots. And I'll tell you, Luke Clanton's going to get on my list pretty soon. But when you give me Luke Clanton at 110-1, I'm going to bite. That's what I like there, guys. And I'm watching the European tournament right now, and this is like a major. See these guys who are there this week? Rory, Rahm, Fleetwood, Hatton. It's amazing. They got a lot of all-stars here.
It's an interesting tournament, Cam, because, last year I a 200-1 shot with Patton Kazir, I think, ends up winning it. And, he was a bomb. But these guys, it all feels like this is a tune-up. So, all the big name guys, it wouldn't shock me. Would it shock you, Cam, if they're all working on some individual part of the game where it's not really about winning this tournament? They're going to be working on certain things, getting ready for what's happening at Bethpage Black, which makes them dangerous.
Joe, that's why you got voted mayor of Miami, for quality statements and intelligence. That's exactly what it's all about. Vote Ranieri, the mayor of Miami.
Yes.
That's the thing. If Scheffler's got one problem with his game, like he's loose off the tee, he's going to try some things. These guys don't care. The guys who made money are like, this is just something, I just got to get it right, find something, especially on the putting green. So that's why we look in that range, guys. 55-1, 100-1. Joe mentioned Patton Kazire. So, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Like 26 is as low as I'm going to go in this tournament. And another guy that I might add to my card is Max Gracerman, the kid from Duke. He's actually fixed a lot of boxes this week, and I was checking going, he's 65-1. He had a couple like bad weeks and a bad stretch, but he was also in contention. He lost a 6-hole playoff before. So, Joe, you guys know he's like right there. He was a lot of top 10s, but that's the whole thing. Ranieri's right. Hey, if Scotty Scheffler wins, God bless him. But I'm not taking guys at 2-1, 8-1, or whatever. We start over 25 and we build from there. And hey, if one of these guys is in the mix on Sunday with one of my guys, then I can make a decision, right, Donnie? Like, I just 2-1. Like, I get it. Scheffler's the best in the world, but like now we're seeing like crazy numbers with this guy. It's not even 5. Like, if Scheffler was 8, I'd actually probably bet him pre-tournament because that's a wicked number. But I'm not going to do it at barely over 2-1.
Scotty Scheffler effect, they're certainly going to have it. And also, we'll see him in the Ryder Cup in a couple weeks at Bethpage. We got a big football game tonight, Cam. Lambeau Field. That's the Washington Commanders and the Green Bay Packers. The line, depending where you're shopping at, you can get 3s. You can get 3.5s here. Total's 48.5, Cam. Where are we going tonight for this big NFC matchup?
I know everyone. What the thing about the NFL is, guys, what you saw last week is not this week. If you play what you saw last, we're gonna be broke. Gabe and I talked about it on the show. It's like, I don't care. Like, the Colts look like world beaters. They could be horrible this week. We don't know. All I know is this: the Washington Commanders. I watched that game every snap against the Giants. The score was not indicative of how they played. They killed Russell Wilson, and the Giants have a good front seven. But the thing about Jaden Daniels is he's got great escapability, guys. His rushing prop is near 50 yards, though. So I'm like, hey, I'm not going to really go down that path. But I'm going to tell you, Donnie, I got +4 with these guys earlier. The total's a little bit trickier. I'm going to go harder on the side, but 48.5, I can bite on the under. I think there's going to be more defense than offense in this game. Don't love it as much as the side, but I'm going to sprinkle on the Commanders on the money line. If you're looking for an anytime touchdown, no, you guys know I love my tight ends. I had Dalton Kincaid 16-1 for the Bills' first touchdown last week. What about Zach Ertz? This guy's always there. And for Green Bay, Kraft. I love tight ends. We'll go with Kraft and we'll go with Ertz. Both great numbers, over 2-1. These guys are fantastic. I got to tell you guys, like, I have a bet at the start of the year with Kraft. I think he's just going to have a monster year for the Green Bay Packers. And Zach Ertz, he's like open on every play. In that Giants game, open. He had one drop. So I just think he's a world beater. And I think the Commanders can win this game outright tonight, guys.
Love to see it, Cam. All on board, and away we go at this point here. Fantastic stuff. By the way, I need to get your input on this. Hockey season is coming up. We know you love your hockey. There's a guy out there that's like, you know what? I don't want to be the highest paid player in the NHL. I want more money than that. Kaprizov here for the Minnesota Wild. What are we thinking here? What's it going to take to get done? Does he want out of Minnesota?
Kaprizov's a weird guy because when he's playing and his head's in it, he's one of the best players in the world. He can also take nights off and say, screw this. I don't need to do these type of things, right? The problem with the Minnesota Wild, Donnie, it's one of these franchises, like, you can pay him, you can stay, you're middling. And I really feel bad for these guys because the people of Minnesota, it's the state of hockey. But if I was Minnesota, if you could get rid of Kaprizov, as crazy as this sounds, and stockpile 1 million picks, I would. And that's what they're talking about with Edmonton with Connor McDavid. He's going to take less years and a little less money to get the team where it is. And they don't have to get rid of any guys. Very interesting stuff.
Thursdays with Cam. We love him on the early line. Cam, thanks for rising and grinding with us. We'll see you next Thursday. For Joe and Donnie, we'll be right back.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes what. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, I'm not. Listen, we thanked them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards.
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Closing it down in style on the early line. It's what we do each and every day. And also, we like to leave you with a little bit more money in your pocket and something to go away with. Now, the good part about it is it's Thursday night. We got NFL action tonight, but also tomorrow is a Friday. And as we like to know around these parts, Joe, Friday is payday. And we'll get to Friday. Don't you worry about it. But this is the time of the show. We like to reach out to the people and get the vibes on some of the hottest topics. And one of those hot topics tonight, it's about the Packers and the Commanders. Here's our Fade the Public poll. We back and we fade, and we ask easy questions here. It's early in the morning. You don't want to think too much. You just want to say, you know what? Question makes sense. Push the button. At SportsGrid, our Twitter account, on X here. What is your best bet for tonight in Commanders versus the Packers? We asked you 4 separate things. Over, under, Commanders, or Packers. You know who leads the way right now? The Green Bay Packers at a -3.5. Joe, actually went Commanders +3.5, even though I never take the road teams on a Thursday night. I'm sort of feeling the Commanders a little bit, Joe. Where did you go in this poll today?
Yeah, I mean, it would only be Packers or pass for me in this one when it comes to the full game, Donnie. I think that hook is there and it stayed there for a reason. At this point right now, if you don't see this thing go back to 3, I'd be concerned because it's by kickoff. And really at this point, if you like Washington, bet it. If you like Green Bay, Donnie, hold off and see if it drops down to 3. If it does, there you go. You can jump on in. But I think that hook hanging around tells me a little something about the market. And either way, I think Green Bay at home on a short week is still the right side.
Let's see what happens tonight. Micah Parsons and the boys, star power left and right. Both good quarterbacks here. Some nice players on the ground. Wide receivers. Lambeau Field is a backdrop. Who says no? Certainly not these two guys here talking about this game. Can't wait to watch that play out. But more importantly, can we make some money here? Here's bye. We came, we saw, we conquered last night, Joe. We gave the people what they wanted, a 2-0 night. It's Thursday. The pressure is on as we roll it over into Friday. My question to you is, where are we going tonight? Baseball winners? Football winners? I don't know. Is the WNBA even playing anymore? I don't know. But we got to find some winners somewhere. Where are you going?
I bet Caitlin Clark will not be playing. Oh, that's right. She's already been ruled out.
But what's those ratings?
So is Brock Purdy, apparently. But tonight I'm going to stick with the Thursday night football game. Amazon Prime tonight, by the way. So if you're scrolling around with the room, like, where is Amazon Prime night here, Thursday night tonight. And I am going to look at the Packers in the first half, Donnie. The number is 2.5. And quite honestly, I think what you saw last week against Detroit is a superior coaching job by LaFleur and that Green Bay Packers staff scripting. And we all know, Donnie, right? The adjustments, they come at the half. But when it comes to scripting plays and getting your team in a position to play from in front, nobody does it better than the LaFleur. He did it last week. I think he's going to do it again this week. I think they will come out. They will do their thing. They will have at least a field goal lead by the time we get into the third quarter. And then let's see what Dan Quinn and Kingsbury and company, let's see what they adjust to in the second half. But I like the Packers at home in a short week to have the lead at the break.
Go, Pack, go. You'll be hearing that a lot tonight here. Epic circumstances surrounding this game. We'll see who has that leg up in the NFC. For me, I'm going to keep with Major League Baseball. And all I've been doing for the past couple weeks, Joe, keeping it simple tonight. Taking a look and not putting a ton of thought into, I wonder if this happens, by going, first instinct is the right instinct. And tonight, we're going to go out to Colorado and San Diego, live from San Diego. Yeah, it's a true pitcher's ballpark. I get it. Are the offenses in gear for both of these teams? No. Did you see last night Colorado got shut out? Donnie, you can't take anything that has to do with Colorado unless you're fading them. Not tonight. Brown versus Vasquez, 2 really bad pitchers on the mound. If there's a night for the San Diego Padres to say, okay, let's get back in order and chase down the Dodgers, we have to score runs, which means 5 or 6, which is a possibility. And Vasquez, you look at him on the card today. Last 45 days, a 4.37 ERA, but a 4.90 Sierra number, which is the important numbers, the analytical numbers. Colorado's going to get some base knocks tonight and score some runs. Joe, I'm going over 8.5 at Petco tonight between the Rockies and the Padres.
This is a no-brainer as long as the Padres, those bats turn it around here. And if they do against the bullpen arms that they're going to be facing, then this has got no problem. We could get double digits early and quickly in that game, Donnie.
We like to say to people, don't you dare turn your back on baseball in the month of September, even though we got NFL action and college football here. Stick with it, but we will be watching Washington and Green Bay tonight. We will be recapping it tomorrow morning, right here on the early line for Donnie Rightside and Joe Ranieri and everybody in the back that makes us look good. You know what? We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning. See you then.